we are going to see this video display devices, refresh cathode ray tubes, raster scan display, random scan display, direct view storage tubes, and flat panel display. So all these display devices we are using in our day-to-day life with different methods. So that how it is used or how all these display devices working of all these display devices we are going to study now. So first we are going to start with the refresh cathode ray tubes. So cathode are the simple display devices, or these CRTs are used everywhere in our display devices. Now how these actually work we are going to study. So that is shown here diagrammatically. Electrons, cathode rays, we call them cathode rays, and that's why the name of this is a cathode ray tube. A beam of electrons emitted by electron gun. So here you can see the electron gun, and through this electron gun a beam is generated and passes system. So here is the first focusing system, and this is the magnetic deflection coil, or the deflection system through which this electron beam passes. These deflection systems, okay, this focusing and deflection system emits direct the beam toward the specified position on the phosphor coated screen. So through these deflection coils, how it actually give its direction, that we are going to see in the next slide. Deflection coils or the electron beam identify the position on the phosphor to spot of light. Where this beam penetrates, or where this beam is goes, at that position or at that spot we can see a light. So this is a phosphor coated screen. If this electron beam starts from here and goes here we can see a spot of light. If this electron beam goes here, we can see a spot of light. It goes here, we can see here the spot of light. Okay, so it is a phosphor coated screen where these electron beams are deflected, and we can see a spot of light. These different spots together generate a picture. Now this phosphor coated screen has this phosphor. On this screen there is a phosphor which fades rapidly. Means the image or the spot which is generated, it is disappear rapidly. Then how to maintain that picture? How to maintain that spot? For that, it refresh rapidly. Means nearby 60 to 80 seconds. It refresh, and that's why it is known as refresh cathode ray tubes. It is refreshed to maintain the picture rapidly with some rate, and that's why it is called a refresh cathode ray tube. And that refresh rate is normally 60 to 80 per second, and that's why it is called 60 hertz, 80 hertz, 70 hertz, 70 hertz, in this way, and that's why it is known as a refresh CRT. Now we are going to see in detail the working of this focusing system, magnetic deflection coils, and all these. Okay, so here you can see the primary component of an electron gun. Electron gun, here you can see this is the electron gun, heated metal cathode, and control grid. So here I will show you. Okay. So the primary component of electron gun, this is the entire electron gun. Okay, it includes a cathode grid. Okay, so this control grid you can see here. Now heating filament, for which purpose? It generates the voltage. It generates the voltage, and because of this the cathode becomes heat, or it is heated. When a current goes through the filament, this heating filament, cathode surface is heated and it generates the electron beams. Now these electron beams, three are accelerated towards the phosphor coating. these electrons which are generated by this cathode. Cathode is heated because of this heating filament and it emits the electron beams. And these electron beams are passes through this focusing system and the magnet accelerating anode and goes through the towards the phosphor coated screen. When a beam hits a phosphor dot, it glows. When it beams here, suppose this beam hits here, it here, then it generates a spot here with a brightness. This brightness is proportional to the strength of the beam. If it is a very high strength, if it is a highly charged, then the brightness is very good. If it is low charged, then the brightness is very low. So in this way, the brightness is proportional to the strength of the beam, how it is charged or how much it is charged. Then here the controls you can see here. After this, it goes to this focusing anode and accelerating anode. Again, the brightness of a point on the screen is controlled by varying the voltage to the control grid. To this control grid, whatever the voltage is given, according to that, the brightness of a point on that screen is changed. And for that, different graphics software commands are used to do this. Now see this focusing system or this focusing anode, how it works. It forces the electron beam to converge to a small cross section. So see, the electron beam is generated from this, it passes through the control grid and here a small portion is given through which it goes to the next part. Then it is done either electric or magnetic field. The electron beam is passed through a positively charged electron beam. It passes through this positively charged metal cylinder. So electron along the center line of the cylinder are equilibrium position. It goes through this lens directly or through this focusing anode. Small cross section you can see here. And that's why the beam goes from here. Now it next goes to the accelerating anode. So this accelerating anode, what it works? Okay. There are two pairs of magnetic deflection coils. Accelerating anode, there are two pairs of magnetic deflection coils are mounted on the outside of the CRT envelope. So you can see here it is horizontal deflection plate and these are vertical deflection plates. Horizontal and vertical. Two pairs of magnetic deflection coils are there. The magnetic field is produced by each pair of these coils, vertical and horizontal. One pair of plate is mounted. Now see here, what is the task of this vertical and horizontal? Okay. So the task of this vertical deflection plate, what is the task of this vertical deflection plate? It allows the beam to go either up or either in the down direction. It gives the upward direction and downward direction to the plate. If its potential is more, then the beam goes in the up direction. If its magnetic field is more, then it goes in the down direction. If its potential is more, it goes in the up direction. If it's more, then it goes in the down direction. So vertical deflection plates allows the beam to go in the up direction or down, or gives the up or down direction to the beam. And what is the use of this horizontal? The horizontal deflection plates give the beam either left side or to the right side. It is not possible to show here on the left side or either the right side. If it is potentially high, then it goes to the left side. If it is potentially high, then it goes to the right side. And using this all four things, vertical and horizontal, the direction of the beam is selected or fixed. And then that beam goes to the screen. It's here if, for example, a spotlight or a dot is generated there, that we can see it. Have you understood? So one pair is mounted horizontally and one pair is mounted vertically. Vertical plates are used to give the beam direction up or down while horizontal plates are used to give right and left direction. Considering all these four together, the beam direction is decided. And then finally it hits the phosphor coated screen somewhere according to the magnetic field provided here. If it is high, then it goes up direction. If it is high, it goes in right direction, down direction. If it is high, goes in left. If it is high, then goes in right direction. And considering all these together, their deflection, magnetic field, the final position of the beam is selected and the beam is hitted or emitted, deflected at that particular position. So in this way, this simple CR. Now I'm going to show you a simple video. Is it clear to everyone how it works? The next part. Refresh tube has some points that we consider or normally we use. First thing is the resolution, and that word also we use always. What is the resolution of your laptop? What is the resolution of your monitor? What is the resolution of our TV? What is the resolution of your mobile? So in this resolution word we use. So the what is meant by resolution then? The maximum number of points that can be displayed without overlap on a CRT is referred to as the resolution. Means we say that our monitor has a resolution 1024 into 1024. Means what? 1024 into 1024 points we can display. 1024 into 1024 points you can display or we see on our screen. Many times we say our normal monitor, previously it was 800 into 600. So what is this? That number of points we can display. 800 horizontally, 600 vertically the points we can display or we can see on the screen. So the maximum number of times that can be displayed without overlap on a CRT is referred to as the resolution. Now, means the number of points per centimeter that can be plotted horizontally and vertically. 124 into 124 means 1024 horizontally and 1024 vertically. So the total number of points in each direction. Now the next thing that we normally use is the aspect ratio. This number gives the ratio of vertical points to the horizontal point. How many vertical points are there and how many horizontal points are there? The ratio of this is known as aspect ratio. These simple definitions related to the CRT. Now, these displays has two types. Raster scan display or random scan display. Major two types are raster scan and random scan. So first we are going to see the raster scan display and what is it mean. Both the concepts are very simple. we will see that in detail difference between these two also. So rasters can display based on television technology. So whatever we have seen in television, it is a raster scan display. The electron beam is swept across the screen one row at a time from top to bottom. Suppose I draw here, simple way. Suppose this is our screen. So what is here indicating that the electron beam is swept across the screen one row at a time from top to bottom. Means start from here, then next, then next, then next. Sorry. So in this way from top to bottom. Each row is called a scan line. We call these rows as a scan line. Each row is called a scan line. Picture definition is stored in the memory. Where it is stored in memory? Buffer, frame buffer. We know that. Buffer is normally used to store the picture temporarily or the information temporarily. So picture definition is stored in memory called refresh buffer or frame buffer. Each screen first is referred as the pixel or pixel. Normally we call pixel. For example, TV and screen. For example, here it is shown. Suppose I want to draw a triangle. I want to draw a triangle. Okay. So suppose I want to draw a triangle here. Okay. In this way. On the TV screen. Okay, this is the screen. So in the raster scan display, what it performs, it starts from the first row. Start from the first row. Okay. So consider this row is there. Now on this row, there are 2 points here and here. We need to display the point. So this pixel we need to consider to store the information and this pixel. Why? Because these pixels are in the picture that we are going to draw the picture of triangle. Suppose the next line, it goes to the next line. Now in the next, this pixel is important and here this pixel is important and this information is stored in the frame buffer. So total entire triangle what we are going to draw, the entire pixel information is stored in the frame buffer. And from where it start to draw? It start to draw from the first line, first row. It start to draw from the first row. And row by one, it draw the points. And the points are displayed on the screen. How it is displayed that we have seen in the previously. The electron gun generates a beam. That beam goes to the focusing system. Then it goes to the two magnets, vertical, horizontal. And that horizontal and vertical magnet decide a particular direction and also the point on the screen where to display. So accordingly, this is the point where to display. And that's why this pixel position, it may be 200 horizontally, 100 vertically. That position is stored in the frame buffer. That position is stored in the frame buffer. Is it clear? Refresh at 60 to 80 frames per second. So as I have told that the phosphor fades rapidly. Means the information disappear rapidly. And that's why to maintain that picture as it is, it refresh 60 frames to 80 frames per second. That we call 60 Hz to higher to remove the flickering. Otherwise, what happens? It start flickering. Disappear, appear, disappear, appear. It may happen. So to avoid this, we need to refresh it per second. So 60 to 80 frames per second. So in a simple black and white system, each screen point is either on or off. Black and white, there are only two. No colors are there. That's why either on or off. That's only one bit pixel is sufficient to control the intensity of the screen position. A bit value 1. A bit value 1 indicates that the screen electron beam is turned on and at that position. And a value 0 indicates that intensity is off. Means for example, if we want to draw a triangle as I have shown you in the previous, example. Okay. Suppose I want to draw this triangle. And this is our screen. So at this position where the dots are there, it becomes 1. And the remaining position where there is no dot required to represent. So at that time the intensity name is 0, off. So 0 indicates the beam intensity is off and 1 indicates it is present. Intensity is there, on. So to represent the triangle, every pixel information is stored. But how it is stored? It is stored in the form of 1 or 0. It is stored in the form of 1 or 0. 1 indicates the pixel bit is to be displayed. 0 indicates the pixel bit not to be displayed. So if we want to display the color, it is about the black and white. 1 bit is sufficient. So additional bits are needed when color and intensity variation can be displayed. Up to 24 bits per pixel are included. For every pixel to represent, 24 bits are required. Here how many bits are required? Only 1 bit for black and white. But for color, how many are required? 24 bits. The use of these 24 bits, for which purpose these are used? To store the information about the color. So how these colors are generated, that also we are going to study in the next shadow masking and the beam penetration method. So how the colors are generated. Suppose I want to display the blue color. So the blue color information need to store. So where to store it is in these 24 bits. Also the intensity variations are there. You can see the intensity variations on our simple TV screen, on your monitor, on your mobile. Normally you change the, can see the example of intensity variation. So in this way, to store the black and white images or black and white information, 1 bit per pixel is sufficient. But if we want to store the color information, 24 bits per pixel are required for high quality system. A system with 24-bit pixel and a screen resolution of 1024 by 1024 require 3 megabytes of storage. See, 24 bits per pixel, and that's why it requires more space to store the information. So frame buffer for this require is of size megabytes of storage. If it is a black and white, it not requires so much. 1024 into 1024 it is sufficient. Why? Because 1 bit per pixel. But here per pixel 24 bits and it requires more information to store the color image information in the frame buffer. On a black and white system with 1 bit per pixel, the frame buffer is commonly called bitmap. We call it as a bitmap images. You know it. And for a system with multiple bits per pixel, it's up to 24, not exactly 24. Maximum 24. So for a system with multiple bits per pixel, color images, the frame buffer is referred to as a pixmap. The frame buffer is referred to as a pixmap. Is it clear to everyone? Raster scan system or raster scan display? It is random scan display. When operated as a random scan display unit, a CRT has the electron beam directly only to the part of the screen where a picture is to be drawn. See the major difference? The electron beam directed only to the part of the screen where a picture is to be drawn. For example, this is the TV screen. Again, I am giving the same example and I want to draw a triangle. So in the raster scan system, what happens? One by one it starts. Start from the first row. Is there any spot where to display the image? No. Next, next, next. Now here, suppose in this line, this is the point where to display. So that information is stored in the frame buffer. But in a random scan display, it not goes row by row. It not goes row by row. The electron beam directed only to the part of the screen where a picture is to be drawn. Means it directly hits here. It directly hits here, in this way. And draw a picture. Is it clear to everyone? So that is shown here. So directly start from here, then start, go here as a triangle. Means not row by row. Not row by row. Directly hits that particular position, and that's why it is known as a stroke writing. That's why it is known as a stroke writing or calligraphic display. Now see, refresh rate depends on the number of lines to be displayed. Here not all. In raster scan, it start from the first here and goes up to the end. On off as per the requirement. So start from here, go up to here. But in random scan, it directly hits to that particular position on the screen. So refresh rate depends upon the number of lines to be displayed, not necessarily the fixed refresh rate here. Here picture information or the picture definition is stored as a set of line drawing commands in area of memory referred to as a refresh display file. It stores the information about the lines which is to be displayed. To display a picture, the system cycle through the set of commands in the display file, drawing each component line. Here, the major difference between these two then. Difference between random and raster scan. Then it will be more clear to you. The electron beam, the screen, one row at a time from top to bottom. That I have told you. In a raster scan, you start from the first line, second line, third line, fourth line, up to the end of the screen. Here the electron beam is directed only to the part of the screen where a picture is to be drawn. If I want to draw a picture here, it directly directed towards that point only. Now, its resolution is poor. Why? Because raster system is a contrast produced zigzag lines. Start from here, goes here, goes here, goes here, goes here. Correct? And that's why its resolution is poor. Why? Because it produces the zigzag lines that are plotted as a discrete point state. Its resolution is good. Why? Because it directly focus on that particular position where to display the image. So directly follows the line path. Picture definition is stored as a set of intensity values, bits. If it is a black white, a 1 bit is sufficient to store 0, 1 information. If it is a color, up to 24 bits are required to store the pixel information. So here picture information is stored as a set of intensity values for all screen points called the pixels in a refresh buffer or frame buffer. Picture information is stored as a set of lines drawing instructions in display file. Set of lines are there. Which lines to be drawn? That lines information is directly stored. Now, using one of the major advantage of raster scan system is that realistic display. Why? Because it considers from row first line row horizontally and vertically all lines are considered, and that's why it allows or it is possible to draw the realistic display of scene. Realistic means shadow and color patterns are possible, so many. While in random scan display, these are designed for line drawing and can't display the realistic shade scene. Example of realistic and random scan that you normally see in your day-to-day life. Here in random raster scan, screen points pixels are used to draw the image. Here mathematics are used to draw the image. Can you tell me one example? See, this is the raster scan, one by one it is drawn. This is example of raster scan where shadows are possible. And this is the example of random scan where shadows are not possible. You can see here the color combination. So many color combinations are possible, but here it is limited color combination. It's a simple example of raster scan system is your movies. Correct? In movies, you can see the shadows, so many color combination. What we say, simple. What in mobile also you can see, but cartoon films In cartoon films, if you see, there is no so much color combination. The colors are limited. Why? Because there are mathematical functions and random scan system is used. Along with in cartoon, shadows are normally not there. So that is the example of random scan. So this one picture also differentiate between the raster scan and random scan. So in our television screen, raster scan system is used. Our television screen, our print monitors, the raster scan system is used instead of random scan. Is it clear? Okay. Now we move towards the next. Color CRT monitors, how it works. Color, how it is generated. We have, see, first what we have seen, the CRT, colors, cathode ray tube, how it works. How the actually spot is generated or emitted on the phosphor coated screen. That we know, everywhere phosphor coated screen. My laptop has a phosphor coated screen, our TV has a phosphor coated screen, your mobile, everywhere. But how the spot is emitted there, how that picture is generated, that we have seen. Okay. Then after that we had to, there are two types of displays, raster scan display and random scan display. So raster scan is a realistic, random scan is not realistic. Correct? So after that, the next, how the colors are generated. We know that the beam is emitted there, electron beam is emitted from the electron gun, passes through the focusing system, then accelerating anodes, magnetic plates, and it gives the direction proper, and at that position of the coated screen, it is deflected and we can see the particular dot there, spot of light there, and all these together generate the picture. Now the next thing is how the colors are generated. Okay? So color CRT monitors. Now we normally previously CRTs which were available black and white. TVs were also black and white. Monitors we were using in our college lab where monitors are also black and white. But now it is not there. No black and white. Every monitor, TV, your mobile, everywhere you can see the colors. How these colors are generated through this CRT. CRT is used everywhere, but how it is generated. A CRT monitor displays the color pictures by using a combination of phosphors that emit different color light. Not a single phosphor. In black and white, a single phosphor is used, either on off. But to generate the color combination of phosphors that emit light from the different phosphors, a range of colors can be generated. There are two basic techniques for producing color displays with the CRTR: beam penetration method and shadow mask method. So first we are going to see the beam penetration method. Now see here. For displaying the color pictures has been used with the random monitors. Okay. Two layers, usually red and green. You can see here two layers of phosphors. Okay. So here you can see the green layer, or this is the red layer. Initially it is a green layer phosphor and it is a red layer phosphor. So two layers of phosphors are used, red and green, are coated inside the CRT screen. So after that there is a CRT screen. Before that there are two layers of phosphors. And the displayed color depends on how far the electron beam heat is generated from here, as already I have told you. How far the electron beam penetrates into the phosphor layer. A beam of slow electron, if it is a slow electron, it only exists the inner layer and it generates only the green color. If it is a slow, then it generates only the green layer. Why? Because it only passes through the first layer, green layer, and it generates only the green layer. A beam of very fast electron, it is very fast, suppose. It is a slow, it is shown here. This beam, it is slow. So it only passes the first layer and generates the green color. But if it is a very fast beam, then the electron penetrates through the green layer and then passes out the outer layer, that is red layer. Okay. So both color combinations are there. An intermediate beam, suppose it is in between. First green, if it is a slow, if it is a fast, it generates a red color. If in between, intermediate, it is generated. Here it is shown. Then in that case, combination of red and green light are emitted to show two additional colors, orange and yellow. Two additional colors, orange and yellow. So if it intermediate, either it generates orange color. If the beam is slow, it generates only the green color. If it is very fast, it generates only the red color. And intermediate speed is there, then it generates either orange or yellow, depending upon which is more effective. Depending on if green is more effective, orange will be generated. If red is, if green is more effective, yellow will be generated. If red is more effective, orange will be generated. So in this way, how many colors are only possible? 4 colors are only possible in beam penetration method: green, red, orange and yellow. And which that the picture quality is not much good. Why only 4 colors are possible?
The next one, that is shadow mask. So in shadow mask, it is used everywhere. It works with the raster scan display method. So commonly used in raster scan system, including our color TV. Now whatever you are seeing on this machine, there you can see different colors. All colors are possible. So that use the raster scan system and shadow mask method. A shadow mask CRT has 3 phosphor color dots at each pixel position. So suppose this is the pixel position, you can see here. So at this pixel position, you can see the combination of 3 colors: red, green and blue. So one phosphor dot emits a red light, you can see here. Another phosphor dot generates a green one and one is for blue. So this type of CRT, for these 3 colors, it requires 3 electron guns. One for green, one for red and one for blue. 3 electron guns are there which generate these 3 electron beams of 3 colors. The 3 electron beams are deflected and focused as a group together. You can see here all together comes as a group. Okay, so you can observe here this red color, green color and blue color and green color all comes together and it passes through this shadow mask. It passes through this shadow mask. So when these 3 colors passes through the hole, here there are some holes, you can see here. Passes through these holes, you can observe here the holes. Okay, so it passes through these holes in the shadow mask, and this shadow mask is very important. And this shadow mask is very important in this method. So they activate a dot triangle. Once it passes through this particular hole, it activates a dot triangle. You can see here the dot triangle, which appears as a small color spot on the screen. So on the screen, it appears only a small color spot. What is this color? So this color is the combination of these 3. The intensity level of these 3 colors, red, green and blue, all together comes here, passes through this shadow mask, this hole, and then focus or generate a single spot, triangular spot on the screen. And what color we obtain here? We obtain here color depending upon the intensity of this red, green and blue colors. So with this, it is possible to obtain so many colors. So by turning off the red, green, suppose we turn the red and green colors gun, then in that case what happens? We get only blue color spot. A white color, if we want a white or gray color, then in that case the intensity of all these 3, red, green and black, should be equal. Then we will get, if it is all are equal, then we will get white color. Then we will get white color. Yellow is produced with the green and red color dot only. In the case of yellow, blue is not required. Only red and green are sufficient to generate the Yellow color. These are some examples. Magenta is produced with the blue and red dot. So in that case, green is not required. Cyan is generated with blue and green. So in that case, red electron gun is not required. So 256 voltage settings are there for all the electron guns. The voltage is given, we generate the beams. Nearly how many colors it generates? 17 million colors are generated with this shadow mask method. 17 million. And that's why this method is used in color TV, color monitors, color CRT, everywhere. In this panel also we are using the shadow mask. So most of the things raster scan system, the shadow mask method is used. Is it clear to everyone? Shadow mask method. It's a simple one. Next, DVST. So DVST, direct view storage tube. What is this long form? A direct view storage tube. Stores the picture information as a charge distribution just behind the phosphor coated screen. A tube is used there which is behind a phosphor coated screen. And then that picture information is stored. Picture information that I have told you in the previous lecture, picture information, if it is a black and 0 and 1 color is stored. 0 means no dot is to be displayed and 1 means dot is to be displayed on the screen. And in the case of color, how the picture information is stored? Per pixel 24 bits are used to store the picture information. So if we want to display that particular pixel on the screen with some color, 24 bits are required. 24 bits are required and the colors are generated as already I have shown here. In this way the colors are generated and this information is stored in this tube behind the phosphor coated screen. Means picture information is stored inside the CRT instead of refreshing the screen. Instead of refreshing the screen every 60 times per second, this information is stored inside the CRT in a tube. 2 electron guns are used in DVST. One, the primary gun, is used to store the picture pattern. Picture pattern means you are going to draw the triangle, you are going to display the picture of a person, you are going to draw a circle. So that pattern. So first is the primary gun is used to store the picture pattern and the second flood gun maintains the picture display. So for which purpose this flood gun is used? To maintain the picture display. If it is not there, what we need to do? We need to refresh the picture 60 to 80 times per second to keep the picture displayed on the particular screen. Otherwise it shows flickering image. To avoid this, 2 guns are used here. One gun is used to store the picture pattern and another to maintain the picture display. Now what are the advantages? Here no refreshing is required. Okay, flood gun is used to maintain picture display. So very complex picture can be displayed at very high resolution without flickering. Without flickering, very complex picture can be shown with high resolution. But the disadvantage is that, here big disadvantage of DVST is that ordinary colors we cannot display all the colors and that selected part of the picture cannot be erased. Selected part of the picture means, for example, suppose this is our screen. Okay, this is our screen and here some picture is there. Some picture like this. I want to delete only, erase that part. It is not possible to erase the particular section. For that, the entire screen must be erased. For that, the entire screen must be erased and modified. The picture need to be redrawn. Modified picture need to be redrawn. For example, suppose like this, there is a picture. Okay. And I want to remove this one only. I want to remove this one only. This part of the picture only. But it is not possible in DVST. For that, what we need to do? We need to erase the entire screen and redraw the picture, modified picture once again. So, as it is a major disadvantage, erasing and redrawing of the picture process takes several seconds for a complex picture. If it is a big picture, complex picture, erasing the entire picture and redrawing it again, it takes more time. And that's why this method is normally not used.